Hey guys, so this lecture is just a quick blurb about FDR State Park and the Little White House. So this is for Tuesday, and since we're on a virtual week and trying to keep it a little bit lighter, I thought I would share with you some of my photos from my trip. I feel like we've covered FDR, we've covered World War One and Two really well. Um, and you guys are really well prepared. So I just wanted to kind of share some fun things. And some of you have been there. I know some of you actually went last semester. So if you haven't been, I encourage you to check it out. It's a really neat place. It's right here in our state that celebrates FDR and his work. So I'm gonna, let's see, let me just play from the start. All right, so this is off of their website. This is the Little White House where FDR worked. And this is in Warm Springs, Georgia. It's not going to, there we go. So before I get into that, if you stay at FDR State Park, you can check out what's called Dowdle's Knob. And this is a really nice lookout. Evidently, FDR liked to go here for cookouts, and there's all kinds of pictures of him with his friends, just kind of having a relaxing day at a beautiful place. It says that this particular rock is actually a grill that they used when they would have picnics, and it's been enclosed to preserve it. So Dowdle's Knob looks like this, as you can see. Man, it's just a really, really pretty place. We took this picture when we were there. And that is all part of the state park. So then you can go over to the Little White House, which is just adjacent to the state park. And you drive in and it looks kind of like this. And they've got a little blurb about how he came to Warm Springs in 1924. So if you've never seen the movie Warm Springs, I encourage you to check that out too. It talks about how he developed polio and how the Warm Springs in Georgia helped him to heal. And it really highlights his struggles with his health. So, but this kind of, you can pause and read this if you want. FDR actually passed away at the Little White House of a stroke. It talks about that. And he was sitting for a portrait. It's called the Unfinished Portrait. And I'm going to show you some pictures of that in just a moment. You can see the room where he passed away, the bed, well, actually, the room where he had the stroke, the bed where he passed away, and the portrait that was being painted at that time. So here's some information. There's other plaques around the building that offer more information about him. When you walk in, you can see his wheelchair, and these were his leg braces and his hat. So all of these belong to him. And he also had a car that you could control by hand, which was pretty neat. It's actually quite a simple design. It offers sort of a blueprint for it. But you can look at it here. I got a photo of it, and you can see how you can push this knob, push and pull this knob, and it would push the accelerator for you. So kind of a neat contraption. And this is what the actual car looked like on the outside. Okay, so we also have a serviceman's Bible that was given to soldiers with the first page inscribed by FDR. This was January 25th, 1941. And so once you leave, so you walk in and you kind of go through the museum, and then you go out into the next building is the servants' quarters. And it's just got some little blurbs about the servants who worked there. You had Miss Daisy Bonner was the cook, Irving McDuffie, personal valet. And the president began at the family home in Hyde Park, New York. And so, yeah, so you can read through some of that. This is a picture of the servant's bed and the servant's quarters. And again, this is the outside of the Little White House where FDR would stay when he came. So this is another building. You'll leave the servants' quarters and go into this building here. And you walk in and you're pretty much just in the sitting room. Now, this is where FDR was sitting when he passed away. He was in this chair. He was drafting a speech earlier in the day, sitting there. But at the time that he had the stroke, he was having his portrait done. So here's another view. You can kind of see there's a little couch over here. And it's not a very big room, very quaint, very cozy. But yeah, so that's where he had the stroke. This is the picture of the painting that they were doing. And I thought this was interesting. So they would actually paint different colors of ties and clothing. So you can see in this draft here, she had painted it red. But earlier in the day, she'd also tried it with black and some other colors. I think his suit here is gray, like a lighter gray, and it's a darker gray here. And so, the artist would basically paint several different options and then he would choose which one he liked best. So I did not know they did that. And before I went to the Little White House, I thought that was very unique. So this is the speech that he was working on, and you can pause and read this if you like. But this is they have a huge poster of it. This is actually in the building as you walk out. So you'll leave the Little White House and go into the exit building, and you'll see this on your way out. But it's got a famous quote, and again, you can pause. You can look this up. It's available online as well. But one of the famous quotes from this particular speech: the only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Let us move forward with strong and active faith. So you can see with World War II, it's sort of the end of World War II looming. He, again, is encouraging the American people to stay strong, that things are moving forward. And as we have faith, we'll continue to do so. So this is the bed where he passed away after he had the stroke. So you can kind of walk through there. And again, it's a small little room, very quaint. The bathrooms are still the way they were at the time. Interestingly, this is the same toilet paper that was in the bathroom in the 1940s. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well. And finally, when you walk out the door of the Little White House, you see some marks at the bottom, and the marks are from his dog because his dog would scratch at the door. The name of his dog, he was a Scottish Terrier, and his name was Murray the Outlaw of Fala Hill. So you can again kind of pause and read about that if you want. And that's pretty much it. So again, I encourage you to watch the movie Warm Springs. If you have some extra time, this would be a great week for that. And maybe even plan a trip to FDR State Park. So that is a quick short blurb. But I hope y'all have a great week, and I will see you on Tuesday.